So from a Lynx perspective, could All-Star Weekend have gone any better?
Really, no. Honestly, I feel like between the stud buds and us winning, it was all about the Lynx this weekend.
Did Kelsey Plum give you any grief about the size of the MVP trophy and how much it's grown from the year she got it when it was like pink?
I know, no. Honestly, I think they were happy because I was seeing how heavy it was, and they were like, "It's way better than what it used to be." So
You said it couldn't go any better, but could the CBA talks have gone better potentially?
they could have gone better. Yeah, we definitely have a ways to go, but it's always nice to get in person. I think that's a lot better than going back and forth through paperwork and lawyers. So I'm glad that we got to do that at least.
What was the message you guys wanted to send with the pregame shirts that you wore? Do you feel like the message was delivered?
I think it was delivered. I mean, it's exactly what was on the shirts. Like, pay us what you owe us. And that's the number one thing that we went into these negotiations with is salary and rev share. It's what we said from the beginning we're not budging on, and I think we got that put across.
Are you able to disclose like what you guys are looking for in terms of like revenue percent share, or is that kind of being kept close to the vest?
Yeah, not really. We can't really talk about numbers.
Athletes are always talking about improvement. You've actually improved this year by years. How do you do that? How do you go about it? Everybody's looking for that secret how to do that. How have you accomplished it?
I think I just look for any weaknesses in my games. Things that I feel uncomfortable with when I'm on the court. I don't want to have any of those. And so I work, really hard in the offseason to try to close that gap on things that I'm not very good at. So that's the mindset that I have going into every offseason.
You're asking Courtney just about like your leadership and how you describe it. She said that you had aura. She also, I think, made another comment. You're everyone's fine mom, more or less. I'm not going to repeat exactly what she said, but like, how would you describe like, just your leadership in your own words?
I think it's more, for a long time, it was lead by example because I was not a very vocal person. I'm still not the loudest person out there, but I think just being more assertive and helping, especially the younger people. I'm a vet in the league now, which is weird to say, but I think one-on-one teaching is a lot more helpful than, like, I'll never be yelling at my teammates, screaming at them on the court in front of everyone. I think it works a lot better when you pull someone aside, and so that's what I've tried to do is find people's different personalities, what works for them. Like, I can be a lot more stern with Courtney than I can with other people. She has the thickest skin. You have to be stern, otherwise the message doesn't get across. And so just finding the way that people also want to be taught, I think, is what I've tried to do as a leader.
I guess quick follow-up on that. How much of that comes from your family? Just because, you have kind of members of your family like politically involved, you kind of that background, right? Any lessons that you maybe took from them?
I don't know about like specific leadership styles, but just the personalities in my family. Like, I never met my grandfather, but my dad's personality, my mom's, both of them are heads of companies and the things that they did. So I think just naturally they have strong personalities. They try to instill that in my brother and I. And I don't know. I guess it was just natural because they have strong personalities themselves.
It can be hard to get back to work right away after a weekend full of so much celebration, as a leader and, turning the page to the second half of this season. How was the response and the energy from the team today as you guys right back at it tomorrow night?
I thought it was good. Everyone seemed really locked in. I think everyone was excited to get back to playing with the Lynx. All-Star, of course, is really fun, but it's really chaotic too. And it's nice to get back to our team, get back to business, take that mental break. And then, we still have a whole half of the season left, so I think everyone's really excited about that.
I heard Cheryl saying, talking about the high expectations. How much do you embrace those high expectations?
I think there's been high expectations since I got here. Even in our quote unquote rebuilding years, we still had 4 championships. So there was residual vengeance from other teams where now they felt like they could beat up on us, And now I feel like we're back more in that top dog spot. And so I don't really feel like that ever went away. So it feels natural to the Lynx, and I think they always embrace it. When there's a target on your back, it means you're good and people want to be where you are. So it's a good place to be.
Obviously you're a stud bud supporter. They're your teammates. You're rocking the merch too. I'm curious just what you think maybe the impact of that was giving folks maybe behind the scenes looking to All-Star Weekend, also just seeing the camaraderie, the sisterhood across the league.
I think it changed a lot of things. I think it changed the way that people see the W, the way that you're going to be covered in the W, the exposure of the W. And I also, it gets so negative online where people are always saying you hate one player, they hate the other, all these rivalries. we're competitive people. We're here for a reason. It's because we're the most competitive women in the world playing a sport. Of course, when we're on the court, it's going to get chippy and because you're standing in the way of something that I need. But that doesn't mean I don't respect people off the court, that we're not friends. And it's always been like this. We just never had a 72-hour live stream to expose it before. So I think that is the difference.
Now that you've had a time to settle back in, what was one of the funniest moments from Stub Buzz, whether on the stream or something that you saw
Oh my
that you didn't
gosh.
remember?
There are so many. I mean, I think it's hilarious they didn't know who the most famous DJ in the world was. With Diplo telling him to change his music, and he did, and tagged them in his story. That was crazy. There's so, I mean, I can't even pick a top one because they were just crazy all weekend.
Was there ever a moment where you're like, hey guys, just fall back a little bit, let's enjoy the moment, or were you like, just embrace it?
I mean, I think embrace it. They're on such a high. Like they have such a cool opportunity right now. They're the hottest thing, and women's in sports. Like I'm gonna say in all of sports, people are. I mean the culture that they're building. I feel like and the opportunity that they have to monetize off of this and build their brands. I'm like, go for it. I want people to get paid, so I want them to keep going.
I don't want to read too much into something you may have just said in jest, but said after you pick the team, GM would be a job that you may not enjoy or that you might not
Yeah.
hate in the future. But first team you've assembled, the result was pretty good in a blowout when an All-Star game. Have you like rethought maybe GM as a future career move for you? At some
No,
point?
I don't want to be a coach. I don't want to be a GM. I know how players are. I don't want to be mixed up in that.
I will just add that most of the coaches on the staff have said they don't want to be a coach. They don't want to be a GM, and here they are.
Well, I'm almost 6 strong.